Call all Yahweh Shem Yahushua and Shalom to the elect and all the apostles and other teachers out there bringing out His word and speaking on these prophecies that's unfolding. You know, you're reading the book of Jeremiah, it mentioned this whole scenario that's been unfolding these past days, actually really these past years, but it's really intensifying. Like you literally wake up and stuff like this going on. So I'm going to play a little bit of this clip, and I'm going to go into this one scripture in the book of Jeremiah. Now it says, Israel, God's attention. They're supposed to have a ceasefire, but this still going on.
Explosions throughout the night in Gaza as it...
And see, the thing is, also, Salaki, I don't want to keep going on. I want to get straight to the point. But over there, the time zone is totally different. So it's daytime over here. Meanwhile, it's night over there. So it's going down ASAP.
Israel launched airstrikes.
Our neighbors told us that Israeli intelligence had told them to evacuate the building. We fled and later it was hit. The first rocket, which was a warning, was fired. Then the second and third were fired to the north and east of the building. 5 minutes later, the whole building was hit, and we didn't know where to go.
Israel says it was targeting Hamas internal security and an intelligence base in Gaza.
All right, now in the book of Jeremiah it says, in chapter, let's see where I'm at. See, I'm gonna start out and get straight to the point on this. There's a judgment on Babylon, because when you go over to Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 45, it also says who should draw them out. It's starting off with this though. In chapter 50, verse 12, it says, Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bear you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, a desert, because of the wrath of the Lord Yahweh shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that go up by Babylon shall be astonished, and hiss at all her plagues. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all you that bend the bow. Shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she has sinned against the Lord Yahweh. Now, I spoke on this previously in another video, but I'm going to bring it out again. When you look at the word arrows, because people hear this and be like, oh, that's not talking about nukes. Well, it just so happened. Look at the word broken arrow. Let's see. Definition. Now, when you look at the word broken arrow, it says, a broken arrow is defined as an unexpected event involving nuclear weapons that result in accidental launching, firing, detonating, death, or loss of the weapon. Notice it says accidental launching and firing, and you had previous incidents when the chariots would be spotted over these nuclear facilities and start a countdown on these nukes. So even if these military generals or lieutenants or commanders or colonels or whatever don't want to push this button, the Lord gonna put the spirit on them or gonna send the angels out to spark this off. So whoever may seem like they sparked it off, the other person gonna retaliate and it's gonna go down regardless. Now you go down some more, say to date 6 nuclear weapons have been lost and never recovered. So I wonder who got them. Somebody that's gonna create some type of psyop or make something pop up. So that basically explains why the scriptures talk about in chapter 14, they say, put yourself in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she has sinned against the Lord Yahweh. Now this whole year since this year started, these other nations been gearing up and trying to get more nukes. Them arrows that the scripture mentioned. Now this was written all these years ago, all these ages ago, and they're speaking of stuff that's going on now, and people still want to be foolish and that book was written by a white man and all that. If they wrote this book, they would have took this out of there. They would have took the whole thing out by the arrows, and especially if they call them missing nuclear weapons broken arrows. So let me play this some more. I'm going to go into some more scriptures.
This included a multi-story building housing offices used by Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh. The airstrikes followed the firing of a rocket that landed north of Tel Aviv, hitting an Israeli family home and injuring 7 people. That attack prompted Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to cut short his visit to Washington.
All right, now I'm going to read this and then I'm going to get into why this about to take place. But this video right here solidifies what the scripture talking about. It's in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, starting verse 40. It says, as Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighboring cities thereof, saith the Lord Yahweh, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell therein. Behold, people shall come from the north, and a great nation and many kings shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. Now, who else is it talking about coming from the north? Who's north of Israel? And it says, they shall hold a bow and a lance. They are cruel and will not show mercy or shew mercy. Their voice shall roar like the sea, and they shall ride upon the horses, everyone put in array, like a man to the battle against thee, O daughter of Babylon. I say the king of Babylon. Let's see, I got that page for this. I say the king of Babylon have heard the report of them, and his hands waxed feeble. Anguish took hold of him, and pains as of a woman in travail. Because look, they proud right now. They got these proud little looks. And these silly little looks on their face when you look at them. But like the scriptures say, hands waxed feeble, anguish took hold of him, and pains as of a woman in travail. Because once they realize this shit really going down, that's when reality gonna strike in. Because they kind of think it's a game right now, but it ain't no game though. When you go down some more, verse 44, it say, behold, he shall come up like a lion from the swelling of Jordan into the habitation of the strong, but I will make them suddenly run away from her. And who is a chosen man that I may appoint over her? Who is like me, and who will appoint me the time? And who is that shepherd that will stand before me? Therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord Yahweh, that he hath taken against Babylon, and his purposes that he hath proposed against the land of the Chaldeans. And you get a chance, you could look up that land, that region too. I just want to get straight to the point, but it'll explain everything when you look up the land of the Chaldeans. It says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make the habitation desolate with them. And also, when you read in verse 46, it says, at the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard among the nations. Because it's another scripture also that says, the earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. That's when these nukes go off. Because they've been testing them too. That's why a lot of earthquakes been popping off lately. You see so many earthquakes happening in these random spots. Most of them come from plates shifting around and stuff too, but they also come from them testing on the ground or in the sea and stuff like that. So I'm going to let this play some more.
And returned to Israel. He promised a forceful reaction.
Israel will not tolerate this. I will not tolerate this. And as we speak, as I told you, Mr. President, just now, Israel is responding forcefully to this wanton aggression.
That's why it says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. So, the Lord's willing, this was edifying. And keep paying attention to the news, man. This channel right here, they don't really show all this stuff on RT News. Because RT News got a lot of information too, but they're still censoring a lot of stuff also. But this media outlet is called Al Jazeera News. And they definitely bring out a lot of stuff, graphic stuff too. So, call all Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, and shalom to the elect, shalom to the apostles and all the other teachers. And keep bringing out this word, man. Especially if you figure it out and you understand that you can piece the pieces of the puzzle together, because the scripture is written like a puzzle. But it's plain to the holy and grievous to the wicked. So shalom.